Welcome back to my channel, and today we'll be discussing the show Empire, and I'm just going to be giving my thoughts and everything. So my first thought on the show Empire is that I do not like for Lucius and Cookie to end up together, because honestly I feel like Cookie deserves so much better than Lucius. And yes, they have chemistry, but just because people have chemistry doesn't mean they need to end up together, because you can have chemistry with someone but they can be a toxic person for you, and it's not good. I feel like if someone has to end up with somebody, they should be healthy and not toxic. And she deserves so much better, because it was like she was constantly having to be pulled throughout the mud, and she was constantly having to forgive him for everything, and it was just too much. And they literally tried to do this whole thing of him like her constantly having to sympathize with him. Like, for number one was when the audience thinks that Lucia's mother is dead. We later found out that she isn't even dead. She didn't shoot herself for anything, because he was basically saying that the mother tried to drown him. But we later found out, and then he said that the mother shot herself in the head, but actually that never happened. We later found out that the mother has been in a home center, and he basically lied about that. I don't know how that happened, but it did happen. The other thing of like the whole sympathizing thing is that, like, when he loses his memory, and it also shows you who he is as a person, is that like what happens is basically he loses his memory, and then you kind of see all the awful things he has done as a person. Like, they literally have a whole round table discussion about it. And then, even though he's like not in his right mind, not he doesn't all the time, I'm not gonna say that because he's in his right mind, but at this point he's like lost his memory and everything. He literally says that I was an awful person. I sound like a horrible person. I was like, yes, he was an awful human being and an awful person. And I just feel like she deserved so much better than that. And it was just too much. And yeah, like, there was even this one scene in the show where there was like he was with what's her name, Treasure or something, and then she comes in and she sees them like together, like him on her lap, and they're like doing about to do stuff. And she literally says, "Not again." And it's like, how many times has Lucius done this stuff? And then on top of that, she literally goes to jail for 17 years for him because she loves him or whatever. And the first thing that happens as soon as she's out of jail is that he ends up getting married. And she literally can't even get half of the company that she helped build him for. She literally has to fight for it. And it's like, why? Jesus. Because we literally find out that she like used the money to like help build up the company and stuff like that while she was in jail, because like someone had to, because he was originally supposed to go to jail, but she took the fall for him, and that's what happened. So she ended up like rotting in there for 17 years, and yeah, comes back, finds out he's been made this whole time while she's rotting in there. And they end up having to go head to toe for company because he doesn't want to give it to her, even though if she decided that honestly, she should have just let him rot in prison, because like, if he's out there doing things he's not supposed to do, and he's doing these things, then he should have been the one rotting in prison and not her. And she should have been living her best life, but she wanted to do that, so she rots in there. And then on top of it, we actually found out that the reason why she was in prison was because her sisters called and put a tip on Lucius. And then after that, they literally find that out and stuff like that. And then she tries to get mad at her sister, and I'm like, you shouldn't be getting mad at your sister, you should be getting mad at yourself, because no one told you to take the rap for Lucius. You should have just left Lucius alone, and you should have just went to school and did what you had to do. But no, you wanted to take the rap for Lucius. Next thing we're going to talk about is the ending. I honestly felt like it was an awful ending, and it just felt very uneventful, and it felt like a fever dream while watching, because it's like, this makes no sense. How did this even happen? It's just too much, and it was written horribly. So basically how it ends is that Cookie Cookie is doing something or whatever. She gets in a car and her car blows up, and I'm like, what type of ending is this? Makes no sense. Apparently that ending, I don't know if it's true or not, but I was reading the comments and it said that the reason why this happened was because COVID, and that's why they didn't get a proper ending. But if that's true, then they should just cancel the show because that ending was a hot mess. And then on top of that, you have like, I would say that the writing for the show was it was good, but I don't lie, the writing for the show was actually pretty good. They had some good episodes and stuff like that. I won't lie about that. But then they had some like back and forth episodes. Like everybody at this point had the company. You know, just everybody at this point had the company. Anything else I have to say about the show? The songs were okay. Um, there was character development, especially in like Hakeem. He became like a better person when he was like a father and stuff like that. So you could say that. I wouldn't say a better person, but he became a good father in the show. Jamal finally grew up and had some self-esteem. Andre is still Andre. Lucius, still Lucius. Cookie, still Cookie. Portia, I liked her character, but she could have grown up a little bit more. Portia was still Portia. Tiana, still Tiana. Treasure, still a treasure. Hakeem, still Hakeem. Anything else? Not really. I feel like they couldn't really do much with the episode. But honestly, looking at the show now, it's just not my type of show I would watch now because I just feel like it was just too violent and too traumatic, and it's just not something I would watch again. The fashion was okay and it was like a little tacky. The music was like, it was good, but honestly, it's not something I would listen to, and it was like very repetitive. Like it was a lot of repeating. But honestly, watching the show, I would say that I would just rate it a 5 out of 10. I would just say it's a very average show, not something that's like something I would watch or something I would watch for entertainment. It's just not my type of show, and it's just an average show. It's not that good. It's not that bad. It's not legendary. It's an okay show. But if you disagree with me, you can watch it. If you agree with me, you can watch it. I just won't watch it. At least to me, it was just an okay show. Then on top of that was Hakeem and Tiana. I honestly hated them because all Hakeem did was cheat on her and treat her terribly. It was like watching a parallel to Lucius and Cookie's relationship because that's all he did towards Cookie, and that's all Hakeem did to Tiana. Tiana deserves better than Hakeem, honestly. And then there was Rhonda. Honestly, I felt like if they had kept her on the show, it could have given her more of a chance to develop into a more well-rounded character because she was like very. Her and Andre would plot a lot, and I just I don't know how to describe her character in words, but I feel like if she was kept on the show, she would have been more rounded, and she probably would have gotten her revenge on Nika.